Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Hey folks, welcome on back. Got another day of daily Sudoku going on. We've got a very hard puzzle today. Alright, I wish my roller mouse would land right there so we can see the time. Alright, so I got this cool little corner alley. So like a 6 and a 7, zoop right through this one. Leaves me only one spot for my 6. I love these little alleys. So see this 3 and 8 come right through here. I've got my 3, but I don't have an 8. So look at that. Boom. Okay, we got little alleys here. See this 4 comes on down this alley, and we have a 4 that comes up this alley. Only one spot left for the 4 there. We've got a little alley here. Oh, it has a 7. We already have our 7. That's okay. So let's just kind of do our basics. I've got 2 numbers left. 1, 2, 3. I need a 4. 5, 6, 7, and an 8. I need a 4 and an 8. Now I have a helpful 8 here that says I can't have an 8 here. There's my 8. There's my 4. We got 2 numbers left over here, and it looks like a 1 and a 2. I don't have any of those 1s or 2s, but I do have a helpful 1 that says 1 can't go here. There's our 1 and our 2. Now I have 2 numbers missing in this row and 2 numbers missing in this row. So let's take a look. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need a 7 and an 8. And I have a helpful 8 that says I can't have an 8 here. There's my 7. There's my 8. All right, I need a 1. We don't have a 1. 2, 3, and I don't have a 4. So I need a 1 and a 4. I don't have any help vertically. So, little fat fingered that one. There we go. Now these last 3 numbers here we know is what's left. So we've got our 1. We need a 2. I don't have any help, so I'm just going to throw the 2's in there. 3, 4. We need a 5. Well, it cannot be to the left and it cannot be to the right. So that's the only place a 5 will fit. So that cleans up our 2's a little bit. 6, 7, 8, and then we need a 9. Nothing in the left or the right to help me, so 2's and 9's are going to pair up, and that completes that column. So anytime I have 2 or 3 numbers, I look and see what they are. So these outer columns only have 3 because we were able to get this one here in the middle. So let's take a look. 9, 8, 7. We need a 6. And I don't have anything to help me, but we also need a 5, and I notice I got 2 5's here. So I cannot have a 5 here, and I cannot have a 5 here. So here's the only place for a 5. So the 2 numbers that I'm missing are a 1 and a 6. So let's throw those in there. 1's and a 6. All right. Now let's come back over here and look at this one. Missing a 1. I don't have anything to help me on that one just yet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I need a 7, but I cannot have a 7 in either one of these spots. So my 7 goes up here. We've got an 8. So I need a 1 and a 9. 1 and a 9. 1 and a 9. Those fill those up nice and neat. Okay. Now up here I've only got 3 numbers missing, and I know I've got a 1 and a 6 that's missing, and I'm also missing a 9. We'll have a 9 that comes up here, so my 9 has to go here or here. And then of course I'm still missing a 1 and a 6, so my 1 can't go here, but it could go here. My 6 can't go here, but it could go here. So this cube is very nice and neatly filled out for us. So now let's look down here for these 3 numbers that we're missing. Got my 9, 8, 7, 6. We need a 5. Now the 5 cannot go here, so it's one of these 2. 4. Now I need a 3. Now 3's could go everywhere. I don't have anything to help me with that just yet, so let's 3, 3, 3. Then we need a 2. Okay, so this 2 comes down here, so 2 has to go here. It's the only place for it. So now that tells me this is the only spot left for my 5, and this is the only spot left for my 3. Okay, do you guys see that? Just keeping it nice and clean. Now I've got 3 numbers missing vertically here and 3 numbers missing vertically here, and we can just count those out and see what we're missing. 9, 8, 7, 6. We need a 5. Well, I have a 5 here on the bottom and a 5 here in the middle, so this is the only place that'll fit for the 5. 4. And then it looks like I need a 3, and then I have a 2 and a 1. So I need a 3 and a 1. 1, 3, 1, 3. I'm looking here horizontally. I don't see any help just yet for the 3 or the 1. But we do have something called a crisscross pattern. We talked a little bit about this last game, and we've done crisscross patterns a lot. You'll see there is a 1 in the middle and the bottom, and then look over here, is a 1 is in the middle or the bottom. And what that's telling me is that this cannot be a 1, so we cannot have a 1 in the middle or the bottom rows in this third cube. It has to be one of these two. Okay, because if this is a 1, then the 1 has to be on the bottom. If the 1 is here in the middle, then the 1 has to be in the bottom. But either way, this middle and bottom row are covered for 1s. Now see how these 1s are in the center and the right? Look at this, center and the right. We have another crisscross on our 1s. If this is a 1, then this is a 1. If this one to the right is a 1, then this one in the center is a 1. That tells us here in the center cube, 1 cannot go on the right or the center. So for the 1 in the bottom, it has to go in the left. These crisscrosses are critical for these hard and very hard puzzles. Okay, we got 3 numbers missing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we need a 6, and I don't have anything that can eliminate it out of a spot just yet. Then we have a 7, and then we need an 8 and a 9. Well, we have an 8 top and bottom, so that means 8 can only fit here in the middle. And then we need a 9, so that's just going to line up with these 6s right there. And then this cube is very nice and neatly written down. Okay, so we really haven't gotten much further than just doing our standard eliminations of looking in the rows and the columns, following through with anything that has 3, just marking them down what's left. So we haven't gotten too terribly far into numbers and patterns and pairs for crisscrossing out. So I'm just kind of looking for patterns in these top 3 cubes, and I'm seeing some 4s. So that puts our 4 down here. Now what do you notice about these 4s and these 4s? You see how they're in the middle and the right? That just created another crisscross pattern. So I cannot have a 4 in the middle or the right. And I do have a 4 across the top, so our 4 has to go over here in the left side. Okay, so these crisscross patterns are very important. I've got a 7 and a 7 that pair up, and a double 7 vertically. So in this cube, the only spot I can have is a 7. Okay, so that is helpful. Let's see, we have 2s. We have 2s in the top. We have 2s in the bottom. So our 2 will have to go here in the middle somewhere. Now, what do you notice about these 2s and these 2s? Lots of crisscross patterns. But you see how these are to the left and to the right? So in this third cube, I cannot have a 2 down the left, and I cannot have a 2 down the right. Okay. Now I can't have a 2 here in the center either because of this one. So my 2 has to go in one of these 2 spots. Okay, so these crisscrosses, like I said, very important to get lots of numbers marked down. Let's see here. I do see a 3 that comes up and a 3 that comes across. So we'll have to have a 3 here. We've got our 1, we've got our 2, we've got our 3, our 4, our 5. Is there any help on the 6 just yet? Not a lot. 7, 8, and then not a whole lot of help on the 9. So the center cube, I don't have it written out all the way. This one is and this one is. Okay, and this one is, but I'm going to keep going. I'm trying to just do pairs at the moment, and then we'll come back, and I know this cube's not all the way done, but let's look in this cube because there's not a whole lot written down here. We have got quite a few numbers that we can do some pairs on. Let's see here. Let's look at our 1s for a moment. So this 1 will come down. We have 4 spots for that. We'll leave that alone. 2s can't be in the center or the right, and then 2s can't be in the middle. So we have to have a 2 high and low. All right, we've got our 3. 4 comes down the left and the right and across the top, so our 4 has to go in one of these 2 spots. Okay, 5 comes down the left and the right and through the center, so our 5 has to be in one of these 2 spots. All right, we do have a 6 that comes down and a 6 that comes across the top. So we have 3 spots that could be a 6. I think I'm going to have to write those down. Got our 7. I'm going to hold off on that for just a moment. We have an 8 that comes down and an 8 that comes across. So our 8 has to go here. And then 9s can go all over the place. They don't help very much. So let me just leave with that for just a moment. And then let's look at this third one, because sometimes these can just help me out without getting too much written down. We've got our 1s, we've got our 2s. Okay, we've got a 3, and we've got a 3, and we've got a 3. So the 3 has to go here or here. We've got our 4s, we've got our 5s. Okay, I do have a 6 down here and a 6 across here. Okay, so 6 can be any one of these 3. 7s. I have an 8 across. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I have 2 8s right here paired down the left and the center. This is my only spot left for an 8. Now remember, I have only marked the ones where there's only 2 places. So this can't be an 8 anymore, so this is the only place for an 8. Now this was an 8 or 2. Now this is the only spot left for my 2. Remember these two are only one's a 2. So it's very important to keep those pencil marks up to date because they can just help zip us along pretty good. Okay, all right. And then do we have any help on the 9? Now back here, see this was a 1 and a 9. Now this can only be a 1 and a 9. Okay, so that ties in nice and neat with these guys. Now with these two being 1s and 9s, those are called a double lock. If this is a 1, this is a 9. If this is a 1, this is a 9. But look what it tells me about this one. This cannot have a 1 anywhere else. Has to be a 1 or a 9. That's it. Those are the only two numbers they can be, or the puzzle breaks and it doesn't work. All right, so if those two numbers are locked, then I have my 3. Can't have a 3 here. I can have a 4 here or here. 5, and then what's the other number we're missing? It looks like a 6. I cannot have a 6 here, but I can have a 6 here or here. Okay, so that row is all marked up good. All right, so I have, okay, cool. So I'm looking at this top row here. I noticed a 5 here and a 1 and a 1 and a 9. I cannot have a 5 here. I cannot have a 5 here. So this one is actually the only spot left for me to have a 5. Let me clear out my 5 here. Okay, that's the only spot left for a 5. So this makes this one now a 1 and a 9. That's it. That's all they can be, is a 1 and a 9. Okay. All right, we're cleaning that up nice and neat. All right. So we've got our 1. Okay, I'm looking in this bottom row here. 2, 3, 4 or 4. Can't be anywhere else. 5. Okay, now we need a 6. I can't have a 6 here because of this one. Can I have a 6 here? I think I can. Yep. Can I have a 6 here? See, I didn't get that one all the way written out, so I need to make sure I mark that one in. And then I could have a 6 here. That's important. 7, 8. Now what about 9? See, now my 9s can go everywhere. Almost, not here. Could it go here? Yes. Could it go here? Yes. Oh, too many of those numbers. Okay, so we're doing good. Let's see if I see anything else just jump out here, because I'm going to have to go and take just a moment and finish out these last 3 cubes that I've been kind of holding back on a little bit. Did anything else jump out? Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Okay. All right, so I don't see anything else jumping out, so I'm going to need to take my moment here, and I'm going to need to finish these 3 cubes as much as I can. Okay, so we've got our 1, can't be in the middle. 2, 3, Now we have a 4 left and right, so 4 has to be here. 5. Now I do have a 6 down the left side, but I can still have a 6 in these three. 7, 8. Now I have a 9 down here, but 9 can go everywhere else, right? Right. This cube is now fully marked out. Okay, 1 has to be over here because we have this crisscross 1. 2. All right, now 3 is here because we have a 3 top and bottom. 4 crisscrosses and right here and here. So my 4 has to be over here, 4 cross, so there's my 4. 5. I do have a 6 down the left side, so my 6 has to be here. 7, 8. Now do I have any help with the 9? I do not. I don't have anything that can limit my 9. So can 9 go here? Yes. Can 9 go here? Yes, 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 yes. Blech. Too many numbers. Too many numbers. Okay, so we got all the cubes marked out except for this top one. I kind of held out on that one. We've got a 1 because we have our crisscross ones that say we can't have it in the middle or the bottom. We have our 2 because we have a 2 in the top and the bottom. 2's, very good. We have our 3's because of the 3 here and the 3 here. All right, we have the 4's across the bottom because of these 4's. 5. Now I don't have any help on, oh, there's a 6. The 6 says it can't be here, but it can be no, I have a ghost row of 6's, so it can't even be here. Okay, so the 6 has to go, see, that's good. Shrinks it just a little bit, shrinks my choices. Okay, okay, all right. Then we have our 7, we have our 8, now we have our 9's, which I think 9's can go everywhere. Okay. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Lots of 9's everywhere. Okay. All right. So now I need to look for a pattern that can help me out. I got all these numbers in my noodle. If that's a 9, that's a 6, that's a 1. Okay. Okay. It's kind of playing through the scenario. This is one of the things where I don't like having so many numbers written because then I have a hard time processing their probabilities of where they can and can't be. Now the fun part is if there's a way that you can eliminate a number. So for instance, this can't be a 6 and this can't be a 9 because then you'd have a, this one wouldn't work because there would be no solutions for it. So this can't be a 6 and this one can't be a 9. But if this was a 6, this would be a 1, that would be a 3, so this would be a 4, not a 9, and then this could be the 9. So now I'm looking for a crazy rectangle that goes in a loop that makes an impossibility when it goes through the loop. And sometimes I can't get my brain to think that far out, so I have to take a handy dandy piece of paper if I can't find that pattern, and I have to just try one. And then I try to teach my brain what I didn't see and how to look at it a little bit better. So either way, this is going to be a 1 or a 9, and see, this is going to change these, and it's going to force it up too. So this one right here, let's just like for some giggles here, let's say how it would look if I did that as a 1. Okay, so if I did that as a 1, this one would be a 9, and this one would be a 1. All right, now if that's a 1, see, this one over here becomes a 9. All right, now if that becomes a 9, then these twos are 4's and 6's, which makes this one a 1. Okay, which makes that a 6, which makes that a 9, which makes that a 1. Okay, 4's and 6's, 4's and 6's. Okay, so if that's a 1, That's a 9. Okay, and that's a 1. Okay, so that one would be a 1, which would make that one a 3 and a 1. Okay, and that still works. A 1 and a 9 and a 3. That would make that a 2. 2 and a 9 makes that a 6, which makes those both 1s and 9s, which makes that a 4 and that a 3. A 1 and a 9 and a 1 and a 9. Okay, so if that's a 4, that's going to be a 1 and that's going to be a 4. So that becomes a 9 and a 1, and that becomes a 2 and a 9. 1 and a 9, and that becomes a 4, becomes a 6, becomes a 4, becomes a 9, 3, 6, 6, 9. So if I did this correctly, if I start this with a 1, it seems to work out all the way through. But that doesn't help me find the problem of it. So I'm going to flop that around. I like to take my time and try to find the problem and try to train my brain to see why certain things won't work. Okay, so now I'm going to flop that. So now I'm going to start this as a 9 and see if I can break it the other way. And boom, I broke it already. Okay, so if this becomes a 9, this is a 1 and this is a 9. Okay, now if this is a 9, this is a 6. If this is a 6, this is a 1. And if that's a 1, this is a 9. See this 1 and 9? This little rectangle here breaks it. If this is a 9, this becomes a 9. This is a 9, this is a 6, that's a 1, that's a 9. So these two can't be 9s. I don't know how to find that pattern, especially in these computer-made ones. That particular pattern is my Achilles heel at the end of these puzzles. But this one cannot be a 9 because it'll force this to be a 9. This will be a 6, this will be a 1, this will be a 9. And then now those two will break the puzzle. So this cannot be a 9, so it has to be a 1. And now we're just going to dominoes it, folks. At this point, once we figure out one of those, it just kind of lets it all go. So there's our 1, so that becomes a 9. This is now the only spot that can be a 1. So I'll take my 9 out of here, keep my pencil marks up. This 9 makes this one a 1, which makes this as our only spot for our 6, makes this our only spot for our 9. Okay, this one dominoes over here, makes this one our 3, makes this one our 1. All right, now this 6 dominoes over here and makes this one our 9, makes this one our 6. All right, we now have a 6 across the bottom, a 6 across the top, so this is actually the only spot left for a 6. We've got our 3 and our 9, so the only number left here is our 2. All right, so these two are 1s and 9s. Let me clean up that 6. Okay, so now this can't have a 9, and this can't have a 9. And we already have our 6 here, so that makes that one our 4, makes this one our 3. This 4 makes this one a 1, makes this one a 4. Okay, so this 3 comes down, and one of these two is a 3. There's so many numbers in there, sometimes it's hard to see that the solutions from the choices there. All right, let's see what we have there as some choices now. Okay, this 2 comes down and makes this one a 9. That's a 9, that's our 2. Now we have a 1 and a 9. The only number left here is a 4. All right, and we have a 3, so we can take that 3 out of there. So we have 6s and 9s there, which means this can no longer be a 9. It has to be a 1. It has to be a 9. All right, now this 4 comes over here and helps us make this a 6, makes this a 4. The 6 comes on back and makes that a 9, makes that a 6. And there we have it, folks. So lots of crisscross patterns in this one. And then that last little, I call it a rectangle puzzle. There's a rectangle where there's a circle-y loop of a break that works and doesn't work. And it's that last one, I'm still trying to get my brain to see that pattern. But hope you guys enjoyed it. And I always recommend pausing it before we play the game and print you off a couple copies. Always welcome any comments, suggestions, or challenges that you might have. And thanks for watching, folks. We will see you next time.